Hey everyone, this video is for my advanced math students. This is my second try. I already got 10 minutes into the first one. I decided to throw it out. It was bad. I'm going to try again. I'm on lesson 67 of our book. That's page 334. We're going to talk about arithmetic progressions and arithmetic means. Now this is a long lesson, a lot of examples. We're only going to do page 335 today, the first three examples, and then we'll pick up the others in another lesson, in another video. So we're talking about arithmetic progressions. An arithmetic progression is when you have a whole bunch of numbers that have the same distance between them. It's the same difference. A progression would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I start with 1, I add 1, I get 2. I add 1, I get 3. I add 1, I get 4. I add 1, I get 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's another one. You can start with 0, 0, 2, 4, and add 2 each time. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, and on up the line. It doesn't have to be ones you're familiar with. You can start with any number, like 17, and add 5. Well, let's go ahead and do 17 and add 6. Start with 17, add 6, it gives me 23. Add 6 again, you get 29. Add 6 again, you get 35. Add 6 again, you get 41. That's a progression, each with the same distance between them, which we call the difference between them. We're going to start off on middle of page 335. I'm doing the very first example 67A1. It says write the first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence whose first term is negative 14. That's where you're starting. A minute ago I started at 17 and added 6 each time. They're saying start at negative 14, and whose common difference is 10. And when they give you these kind of problems, I want you to do this simple setup. I want you to say a sub 1. A sub 1 stands for your first term, and it's negative 14. And your common difference is 10. Now, when we think of difference, we usually think of subtraction. In this case, it is not subtraction, it's addition. Bells are still ringing. They don't know we're on shutdown. We're going to start with negative 14, and we're going to add 10 each time, not subtract 10. Difference, like I said a second ago, you think of subtraction, but in this case, we're adding it. So my first term is negative 14. My second term, which I write as a with a little subscript of 2, a sub 2, is negative 14 plus 10. Well, that's easy. That's negative 4. My third term is my first term plus my difference again. Negative 14 plus 10 plus 10. That gives me 6. My fourth term, again, is my first term, plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 again, which will give me 16. They could have asked for the fifth term. We would just simply add 6 again, get 20, add 10 again, get 26, and keep going and going and going. But they've only asked for the first 4 terms. Now we're going to use this information here to set up and give us a formula, give us a function that will help us find any term in any sequence. The book doesn't do this right yet. It picks it up in on a later page or later lesson. But this is something you would want to write on your cheat sheet. If you were in class, I'd say, hey, get your cheat sheet out. This is going on the back. We notice here that in our second term, we added 10. In our third term, we added 10 twice. In our fourth term, we added 10 3 times. If we were doing a sub 5, we would have our first term plus our difference added 4 times. So this was a sub 1. This was our first term plus our difference, the 10. A sub 3 was our first term plus the difference added 2 times. That's 2 times the difference. Our fourth term is our first term plus 3 times the difference. I'm starting to see a pattern. I see that a sub 2 equals a sub 1 plus 1d. A sub 3 equals a sub 1 plus 2d. A sub 4 equals a sub 1 plus 3d. From this pattern, I bet I could figure out the 17th term if I wanted to. My 17th term in this sequence would be, well, let's follow the pattern. Each of these have a sub 1. It's going to be a sub 1. And when it was second term, it was 1. Third term, 2. Fourth term, 3. 17th term, I bet you that's going to be 16d, which it is. If we wanted to, we could go find that out. I could go, okay, what's negative 14 plus 16 times 10? Negative 4, that's 160 minus 14. I'm not going to do it on the formula. All right. We could do that. From this, I get a formula. Well, I can look for any term. Any term is going to be the first term plus my difference times, I don't know, when this was 17, I subtracted 1 to get 16. When it was 2, I subtracted 1 to get 1. It was 3. Whatever that number is right there, I subtract 1. If I wanted a sub 33, I'd say a sub 1 plus, well, what's 33 being the letter N? That's 32d. Here is this little formula that you need to label in your cheat sheet. If you want to find any term in an arithmetic sequence. By the way, it's pronounced arithmetic because it's an adjective right now. It's not the noun, arithmetic. Arithmetic sequence or an arithmetic progression. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. All right? So, that's useful for the following problems. We're going to look at the second example. Second example says find the 25th term of an arithmetic sequence whose first term is 12 and whose common difference is negative 6. Okay, so they tell us our first term is 12 and our common difference is negative 6. Is that what it said? Is negative 6. Yes. Now, if they had said your first term is 12 and your common difference was 6, you would go 12 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. And this one, because your common difference happens to be negative, you're going plus negative 6 plus negative 6 plus, or just minus 6. So 12 minus 6. Now you can sit here and go 12 minus 6. That's 6. Minus 6 is 0. Minus 6 is negative 6. Minus 6 is negative 12. And do it 25 times. But that gets a bit tedious. We just learned that if I'm looking for the 25th term and write it down, a sub 25, it will be my first term, write down the formula, plus 24d. Like that. My 25th term will be 12 plus 24 times negative 6. Or it will be 12 minus, what's 120 and another one, minus 144. That is negative 100, better be careful, 32. Oh boy, I'm going to mess up on this, I know it. Nope. Negative 132. Ding. Okay. I'm going to do another that's not in your book. Let's just say they said, let's find the 10th term. The 10th term will be my first term plus 9d. Well, that's going to be 12 plus 9 times negative 6. That's 12 minus 54. What is that? Negative 42. Like that. Not terrible. A couple more examples. and then we're going to be done with this video. We're already at 10 minutes exactly. Sorry, this is going so long. I'm going to do some examples that aren't in the book that will help us do the next one. The next example, number 3, I want to start off with this. It says find 3 geometric means between this number and that number. It says arithmetic means. When they say find an arithmetic means, it means find numbers that fit between these two numbers evenly, meaning the distance between all of them is the same. I've done an easy one here. Find 3 numbers that fit evenly between 2 and 6. Probably you can do that in your head. I know that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just adding 1 each time. But this is a great example to show how to set these up, because you aren't always going to have easy problems like this. I imagine most 5th graders could have figured that out. Okay? Let's do it so we can figure it out when it's not easy. This is my first term, my second term, my third term, my fourth term, and 6 is my 5th term. What is the formula for my 5th term that we just learned? Well, I'm going to write this up. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. Or in this case, a sub 5 equals a sub 1 plus what's 5 minus 1? It's 4d. After I've written up the formula, then I do substitutions and I put things in. A sub 5 is 6. A sub 1 is 2 plus 4d. I subtract 2 from both sides. I get 4 equals 4d. Divided by 4. I get my common difference is 1. Meaning I come up here and I go 2 plus 1 and I get 3. Plus 1, I get 4. Plus 1, I get 5. Plus 1, I get 6. Hey, it worked. Why would you go through all that? Well, like I said, they're not going to be so easy. Here's another one. Still relatively easy. What numbers fit evenly between 2 and negative 6? What are the 3 arithmetic means between 2 and negative 6? I don't know. You might be able to do that in your head. Let's write it out. My 5th term, again, is my first term plus 4 times my difference. What is my 5th term? It is negative 6. What is my first term? It is positive 2 plus 4d. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides again. I get negative 8 equals 4d. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. I get that my common difference in this problem is negative 2. So I'm starting at 2, and each time I'm subtracting 2. So what's 2 minus 2? That's 0. Minus 2, that's negative 2. Minus 2, that's negative 4. Minus 2, negative 6. I have just inserted 3 arithmetic means between 2 and negative 6. Okay, so those are ones that are relatively simple to see. Let's do the one they have in the book. This is the last example we have for this video. Bottom of page 335, example 67A3. Insert, excuse me, 3 arithmetic means between 2 and negative 4. Okay? That's a little bit different. Okay? We don't know the common difference. I know my a sub 1. I know my a sub 5. I do not know my common difference. I've got to go find it. I know that a sub 5 is a sub 1 plus 4d. We've just done that 2 or 3 times in a row. We're doing it again. A sub 5 is negative 4. A sub 1 is 2. You see why I started off with that other one? This is not going to be as nice as the others, where we came up with a common difference of 1, and we came up with a common difference of negative 2. This gives us a common difference of negative 3/2, which we could call negative 1.5 if you wish to. What is 2 minus 1.5. Well, that's 1/2. What is 1/2 minus 3/2? Well, it gives me -2/2 or -1. What is -1 minus 1.5? That's -2.5, -5/2 if you wish. -5/2 minus 3/2, or -2.5 minus 1.5 gives me -3 2/2, -4. Not nearly as easy as the examples I gave, but still you set it up, find your common difference, and plug it in. That's all for now. We'll cover the rest of the video later. We're already past 15 minutes. Look for it later. I am assigning lesson 67. When I put it on your email, I'll tell you exactly what I want you to do, ones to skip and everything. Thanks, guys. God bless you later.